what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of Bluffton Tech Football here on EA College Football 25. We're getting ready to embark towards the end of our non-conference action here in year number 2, and we have a pretty even game, at least on paper. Now, on paper, we are taking on the UMass Minutemen, and they literally have just about the same overall as us. We're like 1 overall higher, but UMass is going to be at home for this game. But we do have some studs on our side. You know, Nash Birthday, who made some big plays, you know, was our leading tackler in the last matchup. And then we're highlighting Tajay Coles in this matchup as well. Plays at that outside linebacker position for us here, man. So we're gonna see if we can get back to 500, as I would love to nothing more than to get back to 2-2 here in this second season of Bluffton Tech Football. So let's see if we can go ahead and make it happen here in this episode. I'm certainly excited for it, and I hope you guys are as well. If you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. And without further ado, let's go dive in to some Bluffton Tech action. Let's get it, boys.
Amherst, Massachusetts, and McGirt Alumni Stadium, home to the Minutemen of UMass, just a stone's throw away from where the heart of the American Revolution was fought, and we are anxious to see a fight on the gridiron in this one. As we wind our way toward the end of another college football season, one of the grand traditions is paying tribute and respect to those who have just poured their souls into the success of this program and honor the seniors on Senior Day. Good job, great.
Alright, boys, so we find ourselves here in Amherst, Massachusetts to see if UMass can come out here, man, and get to 2-4, while we're also looking for our second win of the season, as that was thrown on a rope. Amon Easton with a close to 30-yard bomb in order to pick up the first down, man. That was against one of our top corners as well, and unfortunately it went out in a pretty horrific way, right? So with that being said, UMass does get a new set of downs because of that, but we do force the Minutemen to have a second third down conversion. We'll see if we can actually get this Minutemen team off the field again, and they throw it short to the tight end. And once again, that is going to move the chains for the UMass Minutemen once again. So already 2 third down conversions on this drive for UMass, as Xavier Wilson tried his best to come out here and knock that ball loose, but receiver was able to hang on to it, able to pick up another handful of yards. And when we get him to a 3rd and short, Cookie DeZario is going to move the first down pretty well. So already now make it 3 third down conversions on this drive. Really should have been taken care of long ago, but the Minutemen, they're certainly trying to put something together here, and they're very close to doing it too, because UMass is going to come out here, man, and they are right on the fringes. 3rd and inches coming up as Cookie DeSario is looking to take it over to right inside, and it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown for UMass, and the Minutemen are going to get on the board first. That is opportunity after opportunity, being able to take them out onto the field, and unfortunately we couldn't take advantage, so the Minutemen will take an early lead. However, it's our time to shine here as we have the ball for the first time today. But starting out with a 3rd and 14, luckily we find ourselves with an open CJ Peaks, and CJ Peaks is able to move the ball forward for us for a massive first down. We'll see if we can get another big play downfield, as Armstrong's going to look to try to dump it off to our man Will Peoples. That could have been dangerous, though. It did hit a UMass defender. Luckily, he wasn't paying attention. However, on another 3rd and 7, we do get Will Peoples the ball out in open space. Watched him go to work As now we look at a 2nd and long. Ross John going to get the carry up the middle. And Ross John's going to get a good set of yards there. That's an 11-yard run for the freshman running back. It will make the most of his limited opportunities as Will Peoples again will go to work. Looking to throw over the middle, and it's going to be incomplete. But there's a flag on the field, and it's going to be called holding. It's going to be called against the offense. Although, interesting enough, they decline the penalty. But 4th and 2, this is not a great spot. And I have a feeling that's going to be a shootout type of game. So I decided to go for it here on 4th and 2. Armstrong going to go for it, looking over to the left-hand side. But trying to get it to Will Peoples. The UMass Minutemen defense was certainly ready for it. So UMass would go on to get a field goal off of that next possession after we failed our 4th down conversion. So we find ourselves down 10-0. Not the start that we wanted, but this is the start that we have. As Armstrong's going to drop back on a 1st and 10. Going to dump it off to Will Peoples, who's able to get away from a couple guys in order to move the sticks. And that's the thing with the Heisman difficulty. You just have to take what the defense gives you. You can't force anything, you know, because they'll absolutely make them pay for it, just like that one right there. I anticipated our slant to get off more cleanly, and it was not clean at all. It nearly ends up being intercepted. So now we have a 2nd and 10 on our hands as we'll go ahead and run with Will Peoples, who nearly gets to the 1st down marker. He's going to be brought down just a yard shy of the 1st down. So a bunch of options here on 3rd and short. As we'll move Will Peoples into motion. Ross John's going to try to pick up the hard yards for us. Ross John down the sideline and is going to be forced out of bounds, but not before getting across the 30-yard line. 1st down, Muskrats. And Bluffton Tech is officially in business as we'll try to score yet for the 1st time today. Armstrong with time is going to find a receiver downfield. That's Javion Foreman. Able to get us down to the 10-yard line. So essentially a goal line situation with CJ Peaks nearly finding the end zone down on the goal line. And that means we just need a couple of more yards. 2nd and short coming up as we're getting ready to wrap up this 1st quarter of action. Armstrong's going to hand it off here as we got an open crease for Will Peoples, who finds the end zone. Touchdown, Bluffton Tech. And the Fighting Muskrats are going to cut this lead down to just a field goal. So a slow start for our offense, but we respond beautifully, as that's going to take us into the end of the 1st quarter. Bunch of points being scored in this 1st quarter already, and we could be in for a generational shootout if this keeps up. So with that being said, UMass finds itself on the field yet again after we scored a touchdown. And yet again, we were able to force a 3rd and long. But alas, I don't know what it is, like 1st and 2nd down a lot of times. You know, they're their typical team, right? But then I don't know what it is. Like this quarterback turns into Peyton Manning when it comes to like those 3rd down conversions being required. It's been a tough look for us as again Ahman Easton is going to throw a dot over the middle of the field. And defensively, we just don't have any answers right now. We are just absolutely getting cooked. Hopefully we can tighten up here now that we find ourselves in the red zone yet again, as Xavier Wilson nearly had the interception but could not haul it in. Hopefully that doesn't haunt us down the line, as we'll run it back here with a 2nd and 10 coming up. Ahman Easton in the shotgun formation, ready to accept the snap as they'll run it with the tailback, Cookie, and Cookie is going to get that crumble. He nearly crumbles our defensive line there as he was very close to moving the sticks. It was going to be a 3rd and a few inches, which they will not only convert, but they will nearly find the end zone as well. Porter Landstrid there almost able to bring that, make that touchdown-saving tackle. But even though it is a touchdown-saving tackle, it is still going to be 1st and goal, which Amon Easton will take advantage of, as the young quarterback is going to score yet again for the UMass Minutemen. Really need our defense to start and tighten up, because we can move this ball on this UMass team now, but if we can't get stops on defense, it's going to be a long day. So Bluffton Tech comes out onto the field, down by 10 yet again, needing some big plays from our offense, and that's one right there. That's the big play that we're looking for, as Javon Freeman was able to find some open space there off of that deep comeback route. As now 1st and 10 coming up. Armstrong looking over the middle, finds his receiver on the RPO, and that looks like it's CJ Peace that's able to bring that one in. He's been busy so far here in the first half. Already has 4 catches for 46 yards. We'll see if we can go to him yet again as we go play action. One to go over to the right-hand side, but it's covered and did not take the flats when he wanted to. And so we'll have to take a sack because of that. Now we're looking at a 3rd and 5. So still manageable. I like this one-on-one coverage to the outside initially, but we're going to take the check down this time around. And Will Peoples cannot get there. And I think we understand what type of game this is. This is going to be a high-scoring game. So I really don't want to punt this football away to UMass if I can help it. So we're going to go for it here on 4th down. And thankfully, it works out in our favor this time around, able to find a completion on the slant pattern. And now we're getting back into business. 1st and 10 for the Fighting Muskrats inside the 35-yard line. As we go play action, looking over to the right-hand side. And that's CJ Peaks again, cooking on the outside. And we have 1st and goal coming up for the Fighting Muskrats. So big decision time here if how we're going to attack this goal line situation. Already 1 for 1 on our red zone opportunities today. Looking to go 2 for 2 with Scooter Page on the jet pass, and it's in! Touchdown, Bluffton Tech, and Scooter Page has the Fighting Muskrats right back into the game. A big play that we needed, and by golly, we sure got it, man. Let's go, baby. Scooter Page with the touchdown. So not only do we get a touchdown, we also managed to actually get a stop on defense. Imagine that. So less than 3 minutes left to play here in the first half, and we had the opportunity to take the lead for the very first time today. We'll see how we attack this. Possibly one of the last drives of the first half is right away we're going to have a penalty flag. So this is likely going to come back. And sure enough, my intuition was correct. The freshman Andrew Spanway does get called for a holding. That's big because instead of looking at a 3rd and short at the bare minimum, it's 2nd and 14. Going to be much more difficult to try and get over. But we try to go deep for Javion Foreman. And unfortunately, we could not beat the safety. Oh my goodness. So a turn of events here as UMass has a chance to create some momentum for their squad. As now looking over the middle, it's Haston. Haston is going to find his tight end wide, butt naked open for yet another first down. And Haston has been slinging that thing all half. He has nearly 200 yards passing in his first half. Not to mention he gets one of those throws to go on the run. Throws it on the money to an open tight end. And the tight end, who was wide butt naked open in his own right, is going to find the end zone. And just like that, UMass is going to have a 10-point lead once again, as that's Dallas Elliott that ultimately finds the end zone. So 1:44 left to play here in the half, and it's just important that we don't lose our composure. Armstrong looking to go to the right-hand side and wanted to go in the direction of, looks like it might have been Scooter Page. but De'Arian Craig is there for the pass breakup. As now we'll go with a 2nd and 10 instead. Armstrong dropping back the pass, wants to throw over the middle, wanted the slants, and unfortunately just too tight of a window for DJ Armstrong as De'Arian Craig steps in yet again with another, not only pass breakup, but an interception too. Single-handedly giving UMass yet another score up on that scoreboard, and UMass is going to be able to put up 30 plus in the first half because of it. So at least on the next drive that we had, we didn't turn the ball over, so we break our streak of 2 consecutive turnovers on in this game, but we didn't come away with any points either. So UMass could possibly get some more points on the board before we go into halftime. And Xavier Wilson misses the initial tackle, misses on the coverage. That's their top corner, by the way, or at least he should be on paper. He's like an 82 overall, and still getting done dirty on that particular comeback route. So now it's going to be 1st and 10. Actually, 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line with Hassan with a chance trying to make something shake, but he's going to calmly throw that ball away. So that a couple of plays later, it'll set up yet another touchdown with Andrew Hassan simply having a career day as the Minutemen are going to score yet again, finding Dallas Elliott. That's going to take us into halftime. And the crazy thing is, we're not even playing that bad, right? But like, we just had that meltdown moment here before the end of the first half, and now we're looking at a borderline insurmountable lead. But one silver lining is that we do get the ball to start the second half, so maybe if we can score on this first drive of the second half, maybe we can start cutting into this deficit a little bit. Can't worry about trying to get the whole thing back in one go. Just got to work at it one possession at a time. 2nd and 4 coming up as Armstrong drops back, looks over to the right-hand side, does find Chris Gentry, who makes a good play there in order to get up to about the 40-yard line. And this is kind of what we've been looking for, just showing some patience, just making the good reads. That's all that it matters here, right? As Will Peoples is going to get a carry, and Will Peoples gets a good run there, able to pick up a first down. So about a couple of plays later, we look over the middle, got ourselves some Scott McClawler, who's able to get across the 25-yard line, and now we have ourselves a red zone opportunity. Looking for the end zone for the 3rd time today. Can our offense get her done? Armstrong's going to hand it off to Will Peoples, who makes a man miss in the open field. And it's now essentially a goal line opportunity now. 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. As now DJ Armstrong jumping back to get ready to go pass again. Looks, finds Scott McClawler. And Scott McClawler is going to find a soft spot. Get a little bit closer to that goal line. Meanwhile, 3rd and goal as Armstrong looks over the middle and finds Chris Gentry in the end zone. Touchdown, Muskrats! Chris Gentry trying to hang on to a tough ball, and sure enough, he is going to be able to haul that tough pass in after all. And so we will score to start the second half at least, but that's not all. We also have an opportunity to go for a 2-point conversion, trying to run it in with Will Peoples, and he will punch that in as well. So the lead gets cut down to just 16 points. So with that being said, still some work to do, but a promising start here in this second half as we do hold UMass to a punt. So now we have a chance to make this just a 1-possession game all of a sudden. Here we go, 2nd and 5 coming up as I like this matchup with Circle. We'll see if Circle or Square, because they're both pressing pretty hard. Instead, just going to try to throw it over to the right-hand side. And listen, that one is on. That one's on the user. I was looking for that deep pass. I mean, look how they're pressing my receivers, right? They literally are asking for it. I just need my receivers to win on the outside. That's really what it barrels down to, as Armstrong will drop back. Instead, he's going to have to rely on Will Peoples, who does make an incredible play. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, man, it's really discouraging to see, even when their receivers are all, their corners are all pressed up against our receivers, you know, we still can't have that consistent success on the outside. So 3rd and long coming up as Armstrong will throw over to the left-hand side. Did miss a block originally, but there's Will Peoples breaking a tackle and spinning partially away from a second defender. So our sophomore tailback is making some great plays, making some genuinely great plays here in this 3rd quarter. That's really helping extend the drive single-handedly. As although this next pass was a little bit dicier, so I'm glad we can at least throw out the sack. So 2nd and 10 coming up here as Armstrong looks at the defense real quick, staring down a 2nd and 10. Looking, is going to step up in the pocket, is going to try to run for the 1st down. They gave him an open runway, and DJ Armstrong nearly picks up the 1st down. So a 3rd and short coming up here for the Fighting Muskrats, as we'll come out with a 5-wide set, trying to find someone to take advantage of. Gentry could be the man, the myth, the legend, able to win on his inner slant, and that's going to make it a goal line opportunity again for the Muskrats. Goal line situation. Armstrong looks left. Oh! Our backup tight end, Olivia. Oh, VNL. Almost able to bring that in, but just tossed it a little bit too far. Was the perfect play design, but couldn't execute that. However, it doesn't kill us on the scoreboard, though, because we will eventually punch it in on the very next play. Just would have been cool if we could have gotten a passing touchdown for DJ Armstrong as well. But yeah, man, we now have that golden opportunity to take a 1-possession game. You know, I thought we could have been done. This could have been a game where it could have completely gone away from us here in this 1st half and turn it to where, okay, you know, maybe we got to actually go ahead and, you know, put our backups in instead. No, that's not the case. This team is going to continue to fight for sure. And with that being said, man, we can now go ahead and focus in on what's coming up next. So even though the 2-point conversion is a failure, I am proud of how this team is fighting. As now UMass comes out onto the field trying to go over play action. Looking over the middle, it's going to be intercepted. Nash Berthe, the sophomore linebacker, able to make a big play on the ball. And Nash Berthe is going to wave at the crowd. Let him know that I am certified him. If we had 11 Nash Berthes on our defense with the kind of effort he brings, then we would have one of the most dominant defenses in America. But one Nash Berthe is going to give us a chance to at least make it a 1-possession game. But we got to absolutely make sure, regardless of whether it's a field goal or touchdown, come away with points, plain and simple. Armstrong looking for Will Peoples. He finds the end zone. Touchdown, Muskrats! And Will Peoples is going to find the end zone yet again with 9 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. And I thought we were cooked. I thought we could have been done. Some of you might have clicked off this video, but I'm glad that you didn't know, because with 1 quarter left, we certainly got ourselves an explosive game right here. And because we forced UMass to punt the ball back over in our direction, we have a chance to come out and possibly take the lead on this drive. We'll see what this offense can do on this particular drive, as we'll go ahead and run it with Will Peoples, who picks up a handful of yards. We'll make the 3rd and 4 attempt much more reasonable. It looks like UMass wants to press. Do we have the slot fade open on the right-hand side? We go in a different direction, but Will Peoples was wide but naked open, though. So, hey, you know what? Sometimes you just got to take those 1st downs. And it looks like UMass continues to you know, play like just short field, right? As Armstrong is going to look to get out into open space, gets out of bounds, but get hit. Where's my unnecessary roughness, bro? Like, listen, I've seen it called against me a couple of times, but, well, my man clearly went out of bounds. We can't get the same thing. That's crazy, man. Should be an extra 15 yards, but hey, still pick up that first down anyways, and we do a boneheaded run after that. Just try to be a little bit greedy. Should have just taken my loss. Instead, it's going to be, instead of it being a 2nd and 14, it's a 2nd and 19 instead. As now Armstrong looking around, trying to make something shake here. Looking, facing some pressure, got rid of it, and should have just taken the sack because we threw yet another interception. Another interception gets thrown there, and now UMass has a chance to score. We got a penalty flag on the field to start this drive out, and it looks like it's going to be called a holding on UMass. Glad that we are able to have flags being thrown for the other team as well. I didn't think it was possible for a split second. So now it's going to be 1st and 20 here for the Minutemen after the holding call, as they'll go back to Cookie. Cookie's going to have a lot of space to work here and crumbles through our defense, picking up the first down. That's so frustrating on a 1st and 20, and we give up a first down like that. It's just tough to see, and it seems very clear that our defense is really starting to be worn down by the pace of this game, which is why it hurts so much to see, hey, we couldn't score on our last possession, man. We'll at least like to come into this one with at least a tied ball game, but it looks like UMass is trying to pull away late. 5 minutes left to play, and it's a goal line situation for the Minutemen. Ahmad Haston making adjustments at the line. Could be a jet touch pass, and it is. Able to get to the left-hand side, and he's gone. Touchdown, Minutemen, but there's a flag on the field. It's another holding penalty. We got bailed out. So instead of a UMass touchdown, it will instead be 1st and goal outside of the 10-yard line, as Cookie's going to run to the left-hand side and somehow gets out of all that traffic. I thought we had the run game bottled up pretty well, but apparently that is simply not the case at all. Not even remotely close. We end up giving up yet another touchdown. That could be the deal breaker for us for sure, man. So now we're down by 10. Down by 10 with 4.5 minutes to go. It's not over, but we need to come away with points quickly as we try to go play action, and nowhere to go for DJ Armstrong, who just simply has to toss it away. 3rd and 8 coming up for the Fighting Muskrats, as again UMass is pressing us at the line of scrimmage. Just need our guys to win against that press. See if DJ Armstrong can have some help. Trying to look over to the left-hand side. He had a receiver open, but can't put it where he needed to go. And so 4th and 8 coming up. Need these yards. Armstrong under the gun, dropping back, looks over to the right-hand side. It's incomplete. It's an incomplete pass. UMass is going to end up taking over. And guys, I'm not going to lie to you, man. We might be barbecue chicken in this one, as UMass is on the verge, and I mean on the very verge, of putting up a 50-burger against us. This is one of the best offensive performances that our team has put up in this series, and yet it might not be enough when it's all said and done, as UMass is going to score again. And yep, there it is. That 50-burger is indeed going to happen. So now things are getting really desperate here for Bluffton Tech. We're now down by 17, and we're closing in on that 3-minute mark as well. So not only are we going to need the score now, we're also going to desperately need, we're going to need to get an onside kick or two as well, depending on how this next drive goes. As Will Peebles chooses not to go down, just gave up after he saw the yellow flag, and Will Peebles puts the ball on the ground, So we're going to hope that this is not a holding penalty, but that's exactly what it was, man. It was yet another holding penalty, and UMass is going to take over yet again, and this time UMass definitely has the clock on their side now, man. And it seems like, yep, they are in fact trying to run the rest of his clock out. They're choosing to still pass the ball, though. So not interested in trying to run the clock out. They're trying to pour it on. And I'm sure next time our offense takes it out onto the field, we're going to take that personally. So here we are with a chance to try and come out here with a chance to, maybe put some additional points on the board. But down by 24, I don't think it's realistic anymore that we're going to go ahead and win. Just looking to see if our offense can cook, though. Armstrong looks over the middle. Is going to find his receiver for a decent set of yards. And we will end up using one of our timeouts to try and conserve as much time as possible. As again, there's the Minutemen trying to attack us down the length of the field. Trying to go with a deep ball down the left-hand side. It's caught! It's caught! Javion Foreman in the end zone. Touchdown, Muskrats! It's been a big day for this offense. It's unfortunate that's probably not going to be enough, but I am so encouraged with how much better our offense has looked since year number one. Because year number one, I think the most points that we scored in a game might have been maybe 20. It was very rare to see us score more than 20 points in a single game. And the fact that we have put up 40 plus in 2 games already this early in the year is extremely encouraging, albeit it would have been nice to be able to get that onside kick. Now, we do force UMass to at least go 3 and out, so we do have at least one more chance to come out here and try and get a chance to put some more points on the board. But if we can score quickly here, this can get a lot more interesting in an instance. Armstrong's going to drop back. He's going to throw a dot over the middle, but really threw a hospital ball to Scott McClure instead. Glad he's okay, because, man, he took a major hit running over the middle of the field. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 10 coming up as Armstrong looks to his left, is going to drop back, wanting to try to run upfield. And DJ Armstrong gets hit from behind. So now it's 4th and 10. Armstrong facing a hot man over to the right-hand side, but finds a receiver, though. It's Scooter Page. And what's nice as well, he got out of bounds as well, so we don't have to run up and spike this football. So we have at least 2 shots at the end zone, but we might not need the second one because we're going to score again. Chris Gentry is going to score for Bluffton Tech. And this game isn't over yet, guys. Especially if we can get the 2-point conversion. If we can get this 2-point conversion to go, then all of a sudden, this onside kick is going to get very interesting. So here we are. Armstrong looking to his right. The onside is good. The 2-point conversion is good. Now, it's going to all come down to his onside kick. If we can get this onside kick, then we will be able to have a chance to go ahead and try to go for the win. We get it! But there's a flag. There was a flag for Greenwood Jr., and he touched it a hair short. It needed to reach at least the 45-yard line. It was at the 44.5. And in a game of inches at the very end, UMass is going to just barely survive. But boy, did we give them a game that they wouldn't forget. So we put together one of our best offensive performances of the series. I mean, we dropped 51 in this mug, man. We literally dropped 51 points, and we still lost. Why? Because we could not figure out how to get those stops on defense. Among other things, the turnovers aren't great. They're certainly not ideal either. But with that being said, I am extremely proud that even though this game could have gotten ugly, it didn't. And while I really wanted to win this game, it just wasn't in the cards for us. Now, DJ Armstrong did throw the ball quite a bit today. He was 36 for 57, 476 yards, did throw 3 interceptions, but he also had 4 touchdown passes as well. He literally had a Jameis Winston type of game, so to speak. We do, however, do a much better job of establishing the ground game. We end up going for nearly 100 yards on the ground and 3 touchdowns in this particular performance. Was a couple of other guys getting some reps. For running the ball, I mean, CJ Peace had a nice game, 9 catches, 81 yards, and then Will Peoples also caught the ball quite a bit coming out of the backfield as well. But a few different guys actually touched the ball today. Chris Gentry, he had multiple touchdowns in this joint. Javion Foreman also caught a touchdown late in the 4th quarter as well. And then Scooter Page, we were able to get a touchdown for off of one of those, jet passes that is getting a little bit more popularity within our playbook. But in my mind, the #1 reason why we lost today was that, honestly, when it comes to stopping the pass, we literally could not stop a nosebleed. There's no reason why we should be able to put up 50 points and lose, right? So that's a tough pill to swallow for us here. Defense 100% needs to be better. But Nico Solomon did end up leading the team in tackles alongside Xavier Wilson. Porter Winstrid actually wasn't too terribly far behind. We did manage to get 1 sack that did lead to a 3 and out, but again, didn't have the pass rush that we were looking for, and just need to have that kind of consistency when it comes to our pass rush, because we can't get pass rush, that is going to be a problem. Nash Berte, however, did have an interception today. He had an interception, was able to take it 13 yards. This is his 2nd interception of the season, and he's been a bright spot of our defense. Just need to continue to see our guys continue to grow and continue to get better. But even though we did end up losing this game, some of the key guys that we're going after really love what they saw, because 4-star Dean Rochester, the first 4-star in the program's history, is going to be a verbal commit. He's going to be coming in from Cincinnati, Ohio, so really excited that we're going to be able to bring him into the fold. And then we do also get some more recruiting updates as well that we'll definitely keep an eye on moving forward. Some of those recruiting updates do include Lorenzo Whittle, which we're in quite a battle for against Kentucky. Robert Browning, who is looking at us or Michigan State. He just entered the top 3 as well. It's going to be a really close one between these 2 schools. And then we do have a lead on a few other guys. Stefan Soliday, Alex Albanenjo, who is a gem, so he's actually like a 4-star caliber player. D'Angelo Council, who is our only offer. And then we down to the top 3 as well for Carl Robbins as well. He's a sophomore from Stowe, Ohio. But also, while we realize that this is a losing effort, at the same time, though, Nash Berte once again gets Defensive Player of the Week. Nash Berte is going to have 3 TFLs, 4 tackles, and then, of course, had that interception as well. So, at least Nash Berte's efforts were indeed noticed. With that being said, though, next time that we jump onto the field, we actually will have the opportunity to play in Maction and have another winnable game on our schedule. We are taking on Western Michigan. And Western Michigan's been playing pretty well, 4-2 overall with a 2-0 conference record, so should be a good litmus test to see where we stand. But we could certainly make some noise here in this 2nd season of the MAC. We just got to clean some things up here, and I think we could have a really competitive season still, even though I would have loved to have at least 1 more win by now. But with that being said, can only control what I can control. It was a fun episode. It was a shootout, even though we ultimately could not come out on top. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, though, and if you did, I need you guys to go ahead and do a couple of things for me. Hit that like button, and then also hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.